Welcome to the show, Gina.
Well, thank you so much. Delighted to be here.
Fantastic. Well, I always love starting with everyone's background, and we have a lot of real estate investors and people interested in the real estate space. And you built a real estate company. Can you talk about that a little bit? We'd love to hear about that.
Certainly, yes. Well, I do have a significant amount of real estate background, and I am an active real estate investor myself, so I can certainly relate. I was in commercial real estate with Cushman and Wakefield, and then at one point I did have I was with Trammell Crow Trammell Crow used to be a big name in real estate. I don't know if it's quite so big anymore, but I was with them in their residential division, the residential development business. And so I had also some banking background in real estate. So I started a Century 21 in Atlanta, Georgia, way back when, what was it, 1994 or so, and grew that to a really successful company and sold it. We focused on residential, but we did also have a property management division that worked with residential as well as commercial. And then we did help a few investors, but on commercial on the commercial real estate side, but mostly we were focused on residential single family homes.
Fantastic. What an extensive background. I love hearing that. Now, let's just get down to it about strategically using AI to our advantage in our businesses. So, we have a lot of entrepreneurs listening. How can we use AI with our social media presence and our brand enhancement? Let's start with that.
Okay. Well, there are so many things that you can do. And as I'm sure most of your audience knows, generally you're going to be looking for new customers, new clients, and with your marketing to draw people to you, there's really two different avenues, organic or advertising. So paid or organic are the two different main big buckets of marketing. And AI can be used to greatly enhance what you're doing there, because AI can basically replace copywriters that you would have had. You can train your chatbot to understand your business by feeding information into it so that it does know your business. You just tell it a little bit about your business by feeding that information in. And then you ask it to act as a marketing expert, act as an expert copywriter to generate the organic content that you might want. So that could be articles, that could be suggested social posts, including the emojis. These AI bots, ChatGPT will do your social posts complete with the emojis. And then you also can take that, and because of the integration of tools like Canva, which is known for image creation, you can use some of the software. One of the programs I use a lot is called Bulk Create, which allows me to take a stream of posts that I've done that I've generated through the Chat GPT, and I feed it into Canva through Bulk Create. And with that, I can create a number of images with just seconds. It's absolutely amazing. With all of that text going into the images, I can make some slight adjustments to the images. And so it allows me to create the organic content much faster. Another example is using articles. Like a lot of our clients are using LinkedIn newsletter, and they are creating their newsletters primarily using the chat bots, using ChatGPT. And the big benefit of LinkedIn newsletter is that it goes into your subscribers' emails. So people who subscribe to your newsletter on LinkedIn, they automatically get an email update when you update your newsletter. So that's really powerful. And a lot of people don't know that, but LinkedIn's really promoting the newsletters, and it's a great way to get your message out. So let me pause there if you have any questions on that, and then we could talk about the paid advertising, how you use AI for that in a little bit.
So, Canva has incorporated AI into its own platform, or do you need a Chat GPT plug-in to integrate into it, or is it already done by Canva?
It's already done by Canva. And Canva has, that's just one of the AI integrations that Canva has added. And the way to discover these is to go to an area at Canva called apps, which I don't know how long apps have been out there with Canva, probably a good while, but I only discovered them fairly recently, and they are absolutely super powerful, including you can create your own images in Canva using AI. For example, recently I wanted to show a person working on a computer. I wanted to show a middle-aged white woman working on a computer, and she was very frustrated. But I also wanted to show the same middle-aged white woman working at the computer very happy. So like the before and after of AI. And I couldn't really generate that or find that in existence anywhere. So I created that on Canva using the tool called text to image on Canva. And that is another Canva app. So I've just given you two Canva apps that most people probably didn't even know. And maybe they didn't even know that Canva had apps. They have a
Correct.
whole bunch of them. I don't know if it's hundreds or thousands, but it's an amazing world.
It really is. I mean, just think about how efficient that is. I'm fascinated already.
Every time I demonstrate it, people say, wow, it is truly like magic.
It really is. It sounds like it. I mean, I personally spend so much time going through databases, looking for images, doing searches, and it seems like this would do it in 10 minutes.
Less.
Less?
10 seconds.
Incredible. And I'm sure people that are listening, they're like, we've got to try this right now. I know that's what everybody's thinking right now.
Yeah. So just when you're in Canva, look over in the left sidebar and go down, scroll down to see apps, open it up, and you'll see a wonderland of things that you can do there.
Fantastic. Okay. So paid.
So paid, this is where AI also really comes in handy because it does act as an expert copywriter, or you can even ask it to act as an expert advertising writer. And you can ask it to generate your ads. Let's say you're going to do a Facebook ad or a Google ad. I mainly use it for Facebook ads for my clients. That also runs often on Instagram, and then sometimes we do LinkedIn. But it generates the great headlines. Usually I start, this is a good tip, I believe, is to start with your headline. And similarly for emails, you want it to start with your headline and get a headline that you like. From the headline, then ask it to write the ad. That's what I like to do. So the headline.
GPT?
Yes, I asked ChatGPT.
Okay.
That's my main tool. Now, another one that I use sometimes, especially if ChatGPT isn't working as well, or isn't as robust, or maybe it's even down, which happens every now and then, or I have trouble getting in. There's another great chat tool called Perplexity. Perplexity is wonderful as well. But my main go-to is ChatGPT. And so I ask it to write the ads, and I can make them shorter, I can make them longer. And so it really gives me that, again, expert copywriting expertise that I don't have to hire a copywriter. I don't have to tax my brain to come up with something that's going to be really good. And I can ask it to give me different examples. Let's say that I'm wanting to run some tests on the ad, use the same image, but
An
then
A&B test.
Yes. So use the same image, but then use different headlines or different copy, and test those different things. Only change one thing out at a time. It sounds like you already know that in the A/B test, where you're comparing either the images, or you're comparing the headline, or you're comparing the copy or the call to action. So you want to change those things out one at a time. That can be very effective and a great way to get new people in. A lot of the things that a lot of the I won't say it's a complaint, but a lot of the complaints that my clients are sharing with me right now is that they're talking to the same people all the time, because maybe they haven't a good community of people who are listening to them and to people who know about them. So how do they get the new people to pay attention? And advertising is a great way to do that, because of the sophistication of the algorithms and the way that especially Facebook ads are set up, that you can use what's called a lookalike audience to mimic or to find people that are similar to people that are already on your list or already paying attention to you. And then you can use a lookalike system to find those people. So it's really powerful.
Now, you use Facebook to find the lookalike people or Chat GPT? Facebook.
Actually, this would be a Facebook, and it is an AI, but you don't really know that it's AI. That's not really important to you, but it is using artificial intelligence, just as the whole algorithms of all the social medias are using artificial intelligence in order to present to you what they think you're going to be most interested in.
And what about the accuracy level? Is there a margin of error, or do you find it 100% accurate with the text and the copy that comes back?
Most of what I'm using is so, I guess you would say, evergreen, that
Okay.
the accuracy is not so important. For example, ChatGPT right now, as we speak, cannot directly access the internet. So the content that it accesses is stopped in the fall of 2021. But you can use plugins like WebPilot or WebGPT that can allow you to access the internet right away. So that's going to improve your access to real-time information if that's important. And you definitely should always check if it's presenting you with links of something that it's referencing an article, or if the data is important to you like that, then definitely you need to check it, because often it is wrong.
Right. So we need to do our own due diligence, which is something that we talked about last week.
Yes. And also it's important to add your own personal, going back to the organic, more of the organic outreach, is you want to add your own personal stories, and you want to make sure that you're personalizing these posts that you're going to do and the articles that you're going to do, so that it's not just a generic, oh, here's another article that's obviously written by a chatbot.
Do you think people can tell when it's written by a chatbot?
A lot of times I can. And I think other people can too. And especially if you have not been putting much content out there, and all of a sudden you start putting a lot of content out there, or it's very elaborate, or the wording is just much more sophisticated than what you would normally be using if you were in a video or if you were writing a social post, people can tell. Yes.
People can tell the difference. Yeah. So do you notice anybody making mistakes, and what are those mistakes for people to avoid while they're using Chat GPT or any other tool?
Well, the point that you made of, is it accurate, is certainly a big one. The lack of personalization is another big one that can be a problem. And then overdoing it. So let's say that you weren't posting any articles in the LinkedIn newsletter, and then all of a sudden you go to one a day. Well, that might be a bit much for some people. Maybe one a week would be better, at least as a starting point. See what kind of feedback you're getting, see how that's tracking, and then possibly move it to more often. But don't overdo things.
Yeah, absolutely. People get overwhelmed, and you might
That's
actually
so true.
lose a potential lead that way.
That's very true. And certainly with the businesses that you're reaching right now, they just have to think about that. And they have to think about it from the point of view of their prospects more so than themselves. I find a lot of our clients, let's say, well, I don't like getting those newsletters in my inbox. Well, okay, we understand that, but it's important for you to get your word out, and getting your word out into the email inbox, even through LinkedIn, is very effective and important. Similar comments about pop-ups on websites. People will say, well, I don't like those. Well, they work really well. And so it would be a good idea to have pop-ups. Of course, that's not AI specific, so we won't go into that too much, but it's just the concept of think about the perspective of your prospect, not necessarily what you would want.
I personally hate pop-ups. They're so annoying.
Well, they've gotten more sophisticated, and what I typically use and recommend to my clients is that they use the exit pop-up option.
What does
So
that mean?
someone's there, but if they decide they're leaving, then, "Oh, by the way, would you like to get my goodie? Would you like to get this wonderful report that I have? Or are you sure you're ready to leave right now?" So that can work real well.
Sounds good. Now, outside of social media, entrepreneurs and investors, they're always pitching for something, whether it's their product or more money. How can artificial intelligence maybe help with a live presentation?
Well, with a live presentation, one of the things you can do is to take your talking points, feed it into AI, or if you really want to just start from scratch, you can ask AI, you can tell it what your topic is and ask it to generate a presentation for you. You can ask it to generate the talking points and or the full presentation. You can use AI to generate the content for slides that you might use in person. If you're sponsoring your own event or you want to be sure that you have a good turnout, or let's say that you've been asked to speak at a conference and you want to help market it, you can certainly ask AI to help generate social content, some posts to help you drive more traffic to it. That's certainly important. In addition to the live presentations, a lot of people are doing virtual presentations or virtual workshops to educate their audience.
Of
And
course.
AI is absolutely fantastic with generating the registration page and the content for the thank you page and the follow-up emails that you need and the email nurture sequence. These are things that in the past, as people have tried to create a good workshop or a good webinar where they're going to educate people, it stopped them because it's just seems so complicated and so overwhelming. And so by using these tools, people are able to power through it much faster and sound much more, much better in general, more intelligent and more articulate. And so to get that information out. That's another tool that is in Canva that there's the it's called magic presentation, I think, that allows you just to feed in a basic concept and it will create slides for you with words that are totally appropriate, images that are appropriate. Now you're going to want to go in and tweak it a little bit, but in a rush, I've been able to use it for some things that I've done really quickly on the fly. And that's another part of the Canva AI.
That is really incredible. I often have people write my copy for me while I'm doing other things. And just to wait on people to get the copy back, it could take 2 weeks sometimes. And just think,
Yes.
this is just such a time saver. I'm like baffled.
Well, it really is, and then you get the copy back and it's not quite right, but you don't wanna wait another 2 weeks. Well, the same in AI land, in ChatGPT,
Yeah.
you have it write it and it's not quite right. Well, you just say, "Well, please rewrite it, make it more formal, make it less formal, make it funnier, make it, add this story," and you could add the story or add something about growing up in the Midwest, and it's just so intelligent and so able to implement what it is that you're wanting to do so quickly that I absolutely love it. And you want to tell it if let's say you're only wanting to write a 300-word article or a 500-word article or a 10-minute speech. You're going back to there's going to be a live presentation. You can tell it how long that presentation needs to be, and it's going to customize it, organize it, and create talking points, all of those things that you're going to need.
So you can control the time on it as well. That's incredible.